Good morning. I'd like to welcome everyone today to celebrate Tap Water Day 2019. I will say I noticed that this may be the first time in my life we have protesters in the audience that are spreading the good word. I like those signs. We should carry those around every day. So good morning, everybody. I appreciate you being here today to help us celebrate and kick off our Tap Water Day event. We're happy to host the event right here at our downtown headquarters at LADWP. First, I'd like to make some special acknowledgments of guests we have here today from both the city family as well as our community partners. First, we have LA City Councilmember Monica Rodriguez, LA City Councilmember Paul Krekorian, Mayor Garcetti's Deputy Chief Sustainability Officer, Dominique Hargraves, Mark Hovatter, who's the Facilities Director for the LA Unified School District, and my good friend Evelyn Wendell, who's the founder of WeTap. I'd also like to recognize two of our very important city partners, Javier Solis, who is the Rec and Park Superintendent for Maintenance. Javier, were you there back there? Thank you. And Lisa Gabriel, who's the Chief Sustainability Officer for the Department of General Services. Thank you all for being here. It's no secret that water is one of the single largest factors that has caused Los Angeles to be the city that it is today. It was the arrival of water back when the LA Aqueduct was founded that really allowed us to become the city we are, to have our world-famous industries grow and produce and create and become really a leader worldwide amongst all cities. Water is the key foundation element that has allowed our city to survive and supports our communities. In 2018, LADWP tested for more than 200 constituents in the water, performed more than 120,000 tests on samples taken every day throughout the water system. LA's drinking water is amongst the best quality water you can have anywhere in the world. It is safe and of the highest quality, treated to meet every standard that we have from both the state and federal governments. Every day do we deliver about 170 gallons of, probably 466 million gallons of drinking water, about 170 billion gallons of water a day, and we still charge about half a penny for a gallon of water. So it's 2 gallons for a cent of water, of the highest quality water that you can get anywhere in the world. We have about 2,000 employees who are dedicated professionals who protect and provide that water to you every day, who monitor it day in and day out, 7 days a week, who operate our treatment facilities to make sure that what we deliver to the city of Los Angeles, all our communities, is of the best and highest quality. And we're proud to be here today to celebrate that quality as we celebrate our refreshing tap water on Drinking Tap Water Day. One of the key things we notice is that having publicly accessible drinking water is very difficult, and we've seen so many times in the past when our drinking fountains throughout the city have fallen into disrepair or neglect. And we have an opportunity and a move right now to change that in the city. Led initially by Councilmember Rodriguez with an idea in April 2018, which we've been studying along with her staff since then, and now embodied in Mayor Garcetti's Green New Deal for the city. We're looking to change out and replace and add additional drinking water fountains throughout the city so that everyone has access to clean, refreshing drinking water from the tap all the time. And we're here to tell the public that when you drink tap water, you save money and you save the environment. We hope that everyone gets on board with the idea of drinking tap water. The tap water is clean, it's refreshing, it's healthful. Everything about it is good for you. And we hope that today is a chance to really underscore that and really bring that home. And it's people like Evelyn Wendell who've really worked with us to bring attention to this matter, because a lot of folks just take it for granted that they should carry a bottle of water around or bottled water somehow more superior. But it's this annual effort to really bring attention to tap water that we think is really going to help us to move this effort forward and to move our city forward and really help the communities, especially those that struggle to pay the bills and question whether their water is safe. I'm here to tell them their water is safe. Their water should be consumed, and it's something that they should be taking advantage of every day. There's some folks from our water quality staff here, and particularly from the lab. Can you raise your hands in the audience for water quality folks? I know this, you're hiding out there, I know. Okay. They're all too shy. First, I'd like to introduce Councilmember Monica Rodriguez. She was first elected to the City Council in July of 2017. She became the first woman elected to serve the 7th District and the third Latina to serve on the City Council. She brings more than 20 years of community, public, and private and nonprofit business experience to the Council, and she's earned a reputation as an innovator and results-oriented leader. Councilmember Rodriguez serves as the chair of the city's Public Safety Committee, overseeing policy regarding fire and police resources, emergency services, crime, and quality of life here in Los Angeles. She also serves on the Homelessness and Poverty, Economic Development, and Information Technology and General Services Committee. That's a lot of responsibility. In April 2018, as I mentioned, she introduced legislation directing the city departments to develop a plan for the installation of hydration stations across Los Angeles, a plan that we're starting to see come to fruition now that it's been studied and looked at, and really move the city forward so that everyone has access to their drinking water. Councilmember Rodriguez.
Good morning, and thank you so much, Marty and Councilmember Krekorian. It's great to have you here, and everyone that wants to assure that folks in our community have access to our terrific drinking water provided, thank you, by our Department of Water and Power that protects and makes sure that we have high standards in our water quality and that we are fulfilling that goal every single day. You know, my district, I'm proud to represent the gateway to our city's water supply up in the Cascades area in the Northeast San Fernando Valley. And it is that water that we are here to celebrate today. I brought my Wonder Woman flask. That is filled with LADWP's finest, that California gold, that we are also proud and fortunate to have. And one of the reasons why I was inspired to bring this policy forward to ensure that we were providing access to free, good quality drinking water at all of our local parks, at all of our city facilities, is because as a mother who would take her kids to the park, or like any other family that is out there trying to make full utilization of our wonderful open spaces or our city facilities, we want to make sure that people are appropriately hydrated, especially in the San Fernando Valley during the heat. But more importantly, what we need to do is reduce our waste and our contributions to the disposable plastics that are being used. You know, one of the ways, our best ways of being more environmentally conscious, our best ways of making sure that we achieve the highest and greatest potential of fulfilling any Green New Deals is to make sure that we are not abusing the resources that we are so privileged to have. And when we have access to good quality drinking water, and you can use your reusable drinking containers, whichever one you want, Wonder Woman, Superman, get whatever you like. But it's really a better way for our environment to move forward, not just to celebrate one of our greatest natural resources in our water, and that to celebrate that we have the highest quality standards here in Los Angeles with the greatest drinking water that you could ever have access to by a municipally owned agency. But more importantly, this is how you can help make a difference in reducing that plastic waste going to needing to be recycled. We can actually eliminate that waste. Families in Los Angeles can help be part of that, because reducing our utilization of plastic bottles and disposing of them for water that you have free and clear here in Los Angeles is another way that you can be an environmental steward in your own neighborhood. And we want to make this available to more members in our community throughout the city of Los Angeles. I'm proud that we have launched several of these initial hydration stations at locations in my district. The goal is to expand that and accelerate the progress of having these installations at all of our municipal agencies, but also at all of our parks, so that families don't have to worry about bringing in those plastic bottles. All those sports teams, everyone that's making full use of our parks, we want to make sure that we are also setting the example here in Los Angeles of being good environmental stewards, and that our kids can start this practice early at their local parks. And so I'm really proud to have been the author of this, but I'm actually far more proud of the work of the city departments that have come together. I'll give that a minute to go by. I'm far more proud and grateful of the city departments that are coming together to not just study it, but to implement it. And so our Department of Recreation and Parks, our incredible Department of General Services, and of course, we couldn't do it without the incredible partnership that we have with our phenomenal Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. So thank you all, guys. We look forward to you toasting with us with your tap water and whatever container you might bring with you at our local parks, but again, we look forward to being to expand this, accelerate the expansion of these taps at all of our local parks and our city facilities in very short order. Thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Krekorian has spent more than a decade in public service. Throughout his career, he's been dedicated to taking meaningful action to move the environmental policies forward. And he's put forward a number of motions in council that actually help us get to that direction. On the city council, he's promoted water conservation, groundwater recharge. He actually his district overlies some of our key groundwater facilities. He's proposed legislation that would put into law the elimination of plastic, non-reusable water bottles at city properties and city-sponsored events, which I'm sure he'll tell us a little bit more about. And he's presented a number of resolutions promoting the use of tap water under the umbrella of Blue Community. Councilmember Krekorian's leadership on the environment and sustainability led to the City Council passing his landmark policy to make LA the largest city to adopt a 100% renewable energy use plan. I'd like to introduce Councilmember Paul Krekorian.
Marty. Thank you, Marty, and good morning, everyone. It's good to be with you today and really mark this important occasion and remind people of what we have here in Los Angeles that so many other people lack. And I want to first, before I begin, thank Councilmember Rodriguez for her great leadership in this area. It's really been a pleasure to be able to partner with her in this policy area and in so many others. And I want to thank Mayor Garcetti for moving this forward as part of his sustainability plan and once again setting the standard for the rest of the country. And of course, DWP, as always, has partnered with us to really make a difference, not only for the people of Los Angeles, but for the world that we live in. You know, there are billions of people throughout the world who worry every single day whether they will have access to clean, safe drinking water for themselves, their families. And yet, here in Los Angeles, we have some of the safest, most secure sources of drinking water anywhere that we take for granted. Since 1913, when William Mulholland said, "There it is, take it," we have had a steady, continuous flow of clean, safe drinking water that has allowed this city to grow, to blossom, and to become the city that we know it is today. And yet we continue to take that for granted. Not only take it for granted, but to turn our backs on it. Billions of dollars of infrastructure that have been invested to give us those guarantees. A couple of $1 billion just in the last few decades alone to ensure this safe source of water, and yet still people feel compelled to go and buy water in containers this big, made out of non-renewable plastic and shipped to us from Fiji. Shame on you for doing that, folks. If you are doing that, shame on you for doing that. It is a disgrace, it is ridiculous, it is unwise, and it is unsafe. Why does this matter, that people are drinking out of plastic drinking bottles? Well, let me tell you a few reasons. First of all, the United States of America uses 50 billion plastic bottles every single year. Think of that, 1 billion plastic bottles a week in this country that we're using to drink a few sips of water. And a lot of people give themselves, you know, a pass on that and say, well, but I make sure that I put my drinking water in my bottle in the recycling, so it's okay. Nonsense. We recycle only a fraction of the plastic that we consume in this country, and it's getting lower all the time as countries in Asia are turning their back on our waste plastic. So you can guarantee that there's a great chance that that plastic bottle that you're sipping from is going to end up in a landfill, if we're lucky, but more likely it's going to end up in our oceans. And the result of that is that by 2050, we will have more plastic waste in our oceans than we will have fish. And that's because you want to drink out of your little plastic bottle. What other environmental consequences does that have? Well, when we bring water in from the sources that we bring it in from, in the Owens Valley and other places, we have significant investments in environmental remediation, in recreation of wetlands, in stream restoration. We're spending a lot of money to ensure the restoration of the sources of our water. What is Crystal Geyser doing? What is Fiji doing? What are these other companies? You don't have the first idea. You don't know what waste they are creating in the sources of those water that they're taking it from. Regulation. That water, that safe water that you're drinking out of that plastic bottle is not tested. It is not regulated like the tap water that comes out of the tap in your home, which has to meet strict state and federal regulations that Fiji water that you're drinking does not have to meet. So if you want safe water, count on your tap water more than you're counting on that bottled water. And then finally, cost. So not only is your tap water better for the environment, not only is it safer, not only does it eliminate the use of this plastic abomination that we're imposing on our world, but your tap water is 3,000 times cheaper than the water that you're drinking out of that plastic bottle. On average, water in water bottles that you're buying from the store is costing you about twice as much as you're paying for gasoline. Now, you all complain about the price of gasoline. You're all angry about that. Why aren't you angry about the price that you're paying for that ridiculous bottle of water that you're buying from the grocery store instead of using tap water? It's 3,000 times more expensive. So, all that being said, this matters. It matters that you abandon this habit of using disposable plastic bottles to drink water out of. And that's why it's so important that we know we can count on the DWP to deliver clean sources of drinking water. And it's why it's so important that with Councilmember Rodriguez's leadership and the mayor and the rest of the council, that we're going to provide you with the ability to do that in public facilities throughout the city. In addition, I just last month, working with the Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation, introduced a motion, 3 resolutions actually, which will make Los Angeles the first blue community in the United States, joining places like Paris, Berlin, Montreal, and Zurich, who have already led on the insistence that we recognize water as a fundamental human right that should be readily accessible to every human being on this earth, regardless of their income level, and preventing shutoffs of water to our citizens whenever that is at all possible, because it is a fundamental human right. Number 2, we recognize that water is a public trust that should not be privatized. And if you believe in that concept, but you're still drinking out of bottled water that you purchase from Crystal Geyser or whoever else, you are contributing to the privatization of what should be a public trust. And here in Los Angeles, we're lucky to have the largest public utility in the United States guaranteeing public access to water. And then finally, the final element of this Blue City commitment is that we are initiating the phase-out of single-use water bottles at all municipal facilities, at all municipal events where water is already available throughout the city of Los Angeles. So I hope you'll continue to join us in that effort. I hope you'll continue to partner with us in that regard. I want to thank the DWP for being such a great partner. But folks, this is not just about what the City Council does. This is not just about what the mayor does. This is not just about what the DWP is. It's what you do. It's the individual choice that you make in whether to buy that water at 7-Eleven or take the trouble to bring your reusable water bottle to a hydration station and drink out of that. By that simple act, you are saving our future. You are saving 900 million gallons of oil a year that's used to make that plastic. You are saving our landfills. You are saving our oceans, all just by drinking out of your tap. So please make that commitment. Thank you all very much, and it's a pleasure to be here with you today. And Marty, thank you for your continued leadership in this area.
Thank you very much, Councilmember. Next up, I'd like to bring Dominique Hargraves. She's a Deputy Chief Sustainability Officer for Mayor Garcetti, and she was one of the folks who've been instrumental at gathering these ideas and putting them together in the Mayor's Green New Deal. So, Dominique.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Tap Water Day 2019. It's so great to be here with all of you, and a huge, huge thank you to the council members that have, really put forth the resolutions and motions that are going to change this city, reduce plastic. I hate the idea that in 2050 there would be more plastic than fish, because I love sushi, and I don't want to let that go. So in our Green New Deal that was released in April, the mayor set forth the goal that we will, within the city of Los Angeles, install and refurbish 200 hydration stations throughout the city. This is in advance of the Olympic Games and in recognition that everyone deserves access to clean, delicious, free water. So thank you, LADWP, for your efforts, Rec and Parks for getting these hydration stations put at places where people need access to fresh water. Thank you to LAUSD for your efforts as well, for placing these hydration stations. And throughout our municipal facilities, people need water. Water is a fundamental human right. You can go days without food, but you're not going to last without water. You need to drink about 2 liters of water per day. Otherwise, you're fatigued, you have bad breath. It's a mess. So with that, there's no new water. It is our most precious natural resource, and everyone deserves access to this water. So with that message, thank you to all of you, and please use your reusable containers and drink that delicious free tap water. Thanks.
One of the key groups that drinks our water and needs to be able to rely on it consistently day in and day out are the school children in Los Angeles. Mark Hovatter is the Chief Facilities Executive for LA Unified School District. He manages over $28 billion in school construction and modernization. He's been a close ally of LA Water and Power. We work very, very tightly together to make sure that we provide him assistance and resources that he needs to make sure that the schools are modernized and that the drinking fountains are as up to date as possible, so that the drinking water that we drink throughout the day at our homes can also be experienced by the kids at our schools here in Los Angeles. So I'd like to have a few words from Mark Hovatter.
I think we've all gotten to the point that we all agree that water is a good thing. Clean water is a good thing. Can't live without it. I mean, that's the easy part. Somehow we seem to have gotten a disagreement on what's the best way to get that water from its source into your mouth. Somehow drinking water out of a drinking fountain became uncool. You've got to drink out of a plastic bottle, and if it's got the name of some foreign country on it, even better, and that's what's cool. And we talked about the students of LA, and if we're going to change an attitude, it's got to start with the students. People have to grow up believing that. It's tough for us adults to change our mind about something. We've got to teach people to grow up, and that's why we think our role at LAUSD is so important for us. Water out of a plastic bottle makes no sense from an environmental standpoint. I haven't drinking water out of a disposable plastic bottle in over 4 years. Started one day after I met Evelyn. But people think they're doing me a favor when they'll set a plastic bottle in front of me, especially if there's some place where there's going to be a camera around or something. I always put that down and get out of the way. I don't want anyone to think that I'm drinking water out of that plastic bottle. You just don't need to. We think that water is safe coming out of the tap. I've heard lots of people say that the drinking water in Los Angeles is the safest water in the world. A lot of people have heard me say the drinking water in Los Angeles is the safest water in the world. And I believe that. I've been to the treatment plant. I've seen it. You know, I'm a civil engineer by trade. I know what water treatment is, and I know we do a good job. My job is to make sure that that water still stays good when it goes through our pipes and comes out of our drinking fountains. And that's been a little bit of a challenge. And I think one of the reasons that drinking water became uncool is because we tested water a while ago, and it turns out that water, as it ran through some of our pipes, picked up a little bit of lead, and it was above the standards. So now the message was, don't you dare drink out of a drinking fountain at LAUSD. It's bad, it's terrible. Well, the truth is, we spent a lot of money and a lot of effort to make sure our side is good, make sure the water doesn't turn bad before it goes to our fountains, and there is not a drinking fountain that's available at LAUSD that has more than 15 parts per billion of lead in it, the standard. And that's great, and we applaud ourselves. We don't have to flush our fountains anymore to do that. But that's still not good enough. You know, now 15 parts, where before, you know, it was great and we were going to pat ourselves on the back, but we finally got there, but that's not good enough. So we are committed to make sure that there's no fountain at LAUSD that has more than 5 parts per billion in drinking water. And that's the same standard you're going to get out of that disposable plastic bottle that you have, and we're on line to do that. The other thing that we've noticed, we're trying to change the attitudes of kids. We've got to convince them that drinking water out of a disposable plastic bottle is not the cool thing. The cool thing is drinking water out of the tap. But for some reason, there's another phenomena that affects drinking water and what we think about drinking water. And my discovery is it's gravity. Apparently, if water is going upwards when you drink it, it doesn't taste near as good as if it comes downwards and into a bottle. We have water that we've tested, we know it's clear, and we just changed the gravity flow of water. So now you can stick a bottle under a stream that drops down, and that water tastes great. Right beside it is a fountain coming out of the exact same pipe where water goes up, but no one will drink that because they don't like the way it tastes. But they will line up 15 deep with their water bottle in hand to drink that water. So our mission is, all right, we can deal with that. We're just going to put a whole lot of fountains that water drops down so that people can fill their bottle up. And we're committed to do that. And we're going to do that at every one of our schools. The other thing we got to do is engage our student body, our student councils, and get them to embrace the idea of the water bottles. Right now, we used to have student bodies make money off selling Cokes and soft drinks, and we decided that was a bad thing, so we didn't let them do that anymore, and the student funds went broke because they couldn't make that money anymore. So now they're finally making money because they caught on to this phenomena of drinking water out of a bottle. A plastic bottle is good, so we sell bottle and vending machines. You know, just the amount of electricity we spend to keep those bottles cold is terrible for the environment. So next phase is we've got to convince people that it's cooler to have a really cool reusable water bottle. So we're going to do that. We're looking out for partners to come in and donate really cool drinking water bottles to people. We want to put logos of the band and chess club and, you know, football team or whatever else, and then let them sell that so they can make their revenue, and now it's cool. You're cool if you've got the coolest new style of reusable drinking water. So that's our mission. We're going to go through and we're going to make sure everyone has an opportunity to fill up a water bottle. And we're putting drinking fountains in at all of our stations that are doing that. The other thing that I want to do is I want to make our schools hubs for the community. Every chance we get, we want to encourage the community to use our school. I'm going to put drinking fountains on the edges of our schools. So as you happen to be walking by there, you can get a drink of water. We're going to put those little fancy ones that have the dog bowls down at the bottom so their dogs can get a drink as they're going through too. It's cool to drink water. LAUSD is going to be part of that, and we're going to bring coolness to everyone, and we'll make the world a better place. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. We certainly are all in this together. Evelyn Wendell founded WeTap back in 2008, and we celebrated our first Tap Water Day in 2015. The idea of really highlighting the fact that we have good, safe drinking water, that we should be taking advantage of that water and having it accessible through drinking fountains and other devices has been at the forefront of her efforts. And she's been a real driver in this area and really helped us to step up our game here at LA Water and Power, not just doing what we do, but to appreciate it more from the public side as to what it means to everyone to have that water available to drink and accessible. So Evelyn, please come up and say a few words.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today to celebrate LA's public water. Safe, clean, tasty, and inexpensive. Drinking water is essential to vibrant communities and healthy people. Tap Water Day is a celebration of this legacy. It takes visible leadership to make our water accessible to all every day, day in and day out. Thank you, LADWP, for hosting us today. It is fitting that we are standing here at this historic John Ferraro building and that there are now those beautiful, clean drinking water fountains out front for all citizens of LA to use and benefit from. I want to highlight the hard work and continuing support of our public drinking water champions. Thank you, Mayor Garcetti, for your intelligent and thoughtful leadership and the Green New Deal plan for Los Angeles. I'm so very proud and grateful for the inclusion in the plan and for prioritizing Tap Water Day and your commitment to installing hundreds of new fountains, water fountains throughout Los Angeles. Thank you, LADWP Commissioner Susana Reyes, for your kindness, thoughtfulness, and creative and intelligent vision over the years. You are an inspiration to me personally. Thank you, Marty Adams, for being the leader at LADWP. You have helped shape the beginning of the new tap water narrative for Los Angeles. Thanks to the thousands of DWP employees working to keep our drinking water safe and dependable. Thank you to Councilmember Paul Krekorian for your years of leadership and your recent resolution recognizing the human right to water and sanitation in LA. Thank you so much. Thank you, Councilmember Rodriguez, for your thoughtful leadership and vision to ensure that our parks across LA have dependable drinking fountains. And thank you, LAUSD's Mark Hovatter, for your continuing important work on the historic drinking water quality program, ensuring students in LA can depend on the 40,000 drinking fountains in schools. The fact that so many young people do not trust the water in that LADWP delivers to communities is a travesty and tragic. We must do more to educate our students and their parents to trust the tap water again. We need all of you to participate in this. During the early years of WeTap, I was invited to the US EPA in DC to meet with Nancy Stoner, the acting assistant administrator in the Department of Water. The conversation I had with Nancy was memorable. She expressed her deep concern when she saw a kid run to a fountain and the mother panicked and stopped her from drinking from it. I told her my concerns are also when I see a kid go to a fountain and they're broken. So drinking water fountains need to be a part of our civic pride. A robust drinking water fountain network in all communities, in our parks, in our transportation hubs, and wherever people come together needs to be our focus. Tap Water Day helps us focus on our municipal public drinking water is safe, plentiful, healthy, and inexpensive. Public drinking water is our water, and we do not need corporations to sell it back to us what is already ours. We do not need to search for water. We need public drinking water fountains that are easy to find, trusted, and convenient. Public drinking water fountain helps us to eliminate the single-use plastic water bottle, take plastic out of our trash and our environment. If we take the responsibility of caring about tap water, we will enhance our civility and our lives will have positive social changes. Drinking fountains are a powerful link of connectedness. And a public drinking water fountain is not a relic, but a modern gift. Confidence and pride in our tap water will improve resiliency and set important community standards for future generations to be water stewards in the time of water scarcity, climate change, severe pollution in our oceans and land, economic hardships for so many, and of course a time where there are sadly so many health needs in our communities. Tap Water Day is an annual opportunity to refresh and the discussion and share our progress. We need to discuss the precious and valuable and robust safety standards of our public drinking water. We need to emphasize public drinking water fountains. We must work hard to help everyone appreciate municipal tap water as a fundamental right. How can we best support the drinking water needs for all our citizens, reducing the need for single-use plastic waste and increasing the health and safety benefits in our sustainable communities in a climate-changing world? We are here for the children of today and tomorrow. Public drinking water fountains do this. We developed the first drinking water fountain finder app, and we are in cities and countries globally. Please use the app. You will make history by mapping drinking fountains in your communities. These filling stations and drinking fountains are the final link to delivering water to our thirsty communities. By increasing the maintenance support of drinking water fountains, we are vitally supporting our students and community members to succeed and help them be healthy with ease and confidence in drinking our water, as well as respect and gratitude for its safety. In preparing for this speech, I read a report from 2018. The beverage industry stated that bottled water is the #1 beverage product in the U.S. Well, now Los Angeles might be the city to help shift that curve back to our water in our neighborhoods. With Tap Water Day, we recognize the foundations of great civilizations is when society harnesses the ability to bring drinking water to its people and does so graciously and with respect. Our renewed pride and generosity of spirit in public drinking water fountains is a graceful civic recognition of our tap water and demonstrates that every day can be Tap Water Day. Today, I want to dedicate Tap Water Day and express my gratitude from deep in my heart for a very, very special person who helped shape LADWP's Water Quality Department and their work ethic with intelligence, heart, and soul, as I know it is now, Melinda Rowe. There are angels among us, and those angels will never be forgotten, and the lessons they teach us daily are powerful. I, for one, am a better and hopefully smarter person because of Melinda Rowe. Thank you.
Oh, but yeah, you read it. Okay. I'd like to thank everyone for being here today to help us celebrate, and thank you so much to our civic and community leaders and partners. The words you had to say are much greater than what we can say ourselves. It's our pleasure and our honor and pride to produce and provide this water to the public, but having it really appreciated and noticed and help us to get it out there, actually get it delivered, is really really done through your efforts. So thank you so much for joining us here today and for all the words that you had to say. We're going to now do a tap water toast. Like if you don't have a water bottle with you, a reusable water bottle with you, refillable, reusable bottle. There's some bottles over here. You can certainly grab them. We'd like you to come over here and join us, and we have our filling stations right here in front of the building, and we'd like you to tap water toast. Thank you again for being here today.